My perception is that they were never going to sign you. Was I wrong on that?
That's what turned out to be true, yes.
They were going to take your money and give it to you, Darvish.
I have no idea.
No, you
that.
even said it once. Like, you had said it once right after you signed with the Angels. Somebody floated that out to you at the Anatole in Dallas, and I remember I can't remember exactly, but you were like, yeah, maybe. I don't know why they would, but it turned out that was exactly what happened. Did you have some premonition on that, or did you just guessing?
I generally have a pretty good feel for what's going on in baseball, but what happened with that was the front office had given my agent indication that they were going to make an offer so that we shouldn't sign right away. You know, I had an offer. I probably could have signed with Anaheim in November, like right out of the gate, because they were the first people that were kind of like pursuing me. But we decided to wait because we're like, well, you know, the Rangers keep saying they're going to do something, and they never did. They never did. And at the end, what they said was, yeah, we were hoping you were effectively not going to get a good deal and have to come back begging to us. So that was what John Daniels told my agent.
Are you surprised the way it's turned out?
No.
Really, why?
Well, you hear the same thing from everybody that leaves. You know, Kinsler didn't leave happy. I didn't leave happy. Napoli didn't leave happy. So, you know, there's a certain consistency that I think the reality also is that the window that we had from 2010 to 2011 was probably the most, probably the best situation that a bunch of people will ever experience in their careers, just based on all the factors. Great players. The players all really got along really well. The manager let us play. You know, there wasn't a lot of intervention during the game, because we policed each other. You know what I mean? There was a lot of accountability. So if a guy popped up and jogged to first base, a player would go say something to him. You know, that was kind of the vibe. Everybody worked really hard. Everybody had fun, but they were doing it in a respectful way. And we developed our own chemistry and our own camaraderie, and it was a very special time in all of our careers.
So when you did leave, and you've obviously had a nice run here with the Angels, I don't even know, do you look back at your old team with any kind of sentimentality? I mean, you obviously were a big part of that success here for a long time.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I like to think that, you know, I was part of the transition more so than a part of the success, if that makes sense, because...
What do you mean?
Well, if you look at our team from, 2007, 2008, 2009,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And we weren't necessarily competing for the pennants or anything like that.
We were good.
We weren't good. We weren't good in 2006.
I'm comparing it to 2001 and 2 and 3 before you were here when they were awful.
Well, I mean, you know, yeah, but I'm saying, you know, in 2006, 2007, we weren't competitive, you know, to the Angels or to the A's. You know, the Angels and the A's were just smashing everybody. That was when they were, you know, winning 96, 98, 100 games, stuff like that. You know, Vladimir Guerrero was fantastic, and, you know, all those guys in Oakland were really good as well. You know, they had all the pitching and everything like that. But the point I'm trying to make is that, you know, it's like if the Giants never win another World Series, all those guys that have won those World Series games, like Buster Posey and stuff like that, especially guys that have actually helped the team win, because there's guys that get rings that didn't necessarily hit bat cleanup for the team, you know what I mean? Like obviously, David Freese helped the Cardinals win the World Series, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's something that we talk about sometimes, we'll joke about it sometimes. I'm like, man, why couldn't you have just struck out? Because then I would have got a ring.
That's a good point.
But, you know, at the end of the day, only one team gets to win the World Series. And if you win the World Series, it's special. If you play in the World Series, it's very special. So it's, you know, I'm sure the Royals, you know, last year, those group of guys, some of those guys might never, I don't know, the exact roster of the team, but there's a guy on that team that's the last World Series he's ever going to play. You know what I mean? So anytime that's the case, then you're going to be excited about that. And until you do it again, that is the last time.
Do you worry about that for you? You've been competitive, you've been in playoffs, but do you sweat that for you? Like, man, that might have been it.
No.
You got two cracks at it.
Yeah, we've had two. I had, you know, but it wasn't just me. It's a team. You know, our team had two cracks at it. We didn't get it done both times. You know, I pitched well in the World Series. You know, both times. I didn't. You know, I didn't throw a shutout, and I didn't hit a home run. You know, so there's I fell short, right, in that regard. But you know, it's all very liquid. You know, you don't really know. Like I could pitch another 6 years and physically, but it's like, you know, what role am I going to be in on a team that wins the World Series in 6 years or 7 years from now? Like, could I be a lefty reliever for a team that wins the World Series? Yeah, that's possible. But it's like, do I want to be a lefty reliever in 7 years?
Why not?
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Were you smart enough or present enough? Not smart enough. Did you have the perspective enough when it was going on to appreciate the rarity of it when it was going on?
You're just trying to win, you know. Like every game, like, you know, baseball players don't reflect during the moment necessarily all that often.
Mm-hmm.
I remember pitching Game 2 in San Francisco in 2010, and thinking it was really hilarious that there was glitter and like the confetti flying everywhere. And I'm trying to warm up to pitch. And I was like, you know, I've never really thought about this. I've never put myself through this scenario of I'm going to have to pitch with confetti on my cleats. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of weird that was sort of going on.
So when you look at what the Rangers are going through now, which they've struggled a little bit the last year, and who knows what this year will be. I don't want to, because you kind of referenced it, are you surprised that they've struggled?
It's a totally different team. You know, obviously Beltre is one of the best players in baseball, but other than that, like who's left performing at the level?
Elvis is still there.
Yeah, but I mean, Elvis is not going to win the Triple Crown. You know what I mean? Elvis is not going to hit 40 home runs. Elvis isn't going to hit. He's not going to replace Napoli's production or Josh's production.
I think they got 5 guys. That's it. They may not even have 5 guys from your team.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like Matt's hurt, Derek's hurt. You know what I mean? Ogando's gone. Feliz is, you know, I don't know if he's himself. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like when Feliz came up in 2009, we were relievers together. He was throwing 100 miles an hour every game. He had the best fastball I'd ever seen in my life.
Really?
You know? Yeah. And I don't know if he throws. I don't know what he throws now. I don't. You know, but I know. But he's had interest. He's had an interesting path to get back. He was a starter and all that stuff. So I don't know. You know? I mean, it's just. But things change. Like if you lose 20 dudes off of a World Series 25-man roster, like you're not going to be the same team. It's not the same team. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, but it's not the same team even if you lose 3 guys, is it? I mean, I know it's trite, but everybody says every year is different. Your team's different than last year. You guys had what? Did you guys win the most games in the major leagues last year?
I think so. Yeah, and we don't have. There's a couple guys that we don't have. You know what I mean? Off last year's team, guys that were integral, like Howie Kendrick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a big player.
So he's gone. So you know, I mean, but at the same time, like we're used to that. We're used to that transient phase, you know what I mean, of baseball, where your best friend today could be your competitor tomorrow.
Have you enjoyed coming? Have you enjoyed it all for the most part, going back to California and pitching?
Yeah, it's cool, but I mean, like, you know, people ask me if I miss Texas, and I miss winning. I miss going to the World Series. You know what I mean? But like, you know, if we win the West this year, if we win the American League this year, it's going to be great. But that's going to be what we're doing now. We're just trying to, you know, get the best we can get. You know?